Right, so how are you guys doing anyway?
Yeah, better today than I was. Obviously, as you know, I was not very well over the weekend.
You were dying at times.
I was fully dying. It was not pleasant. I had very, very, very much ill over the weekend, but I'm feeling better.
Cool.
I still sound like shit, but I'm feeling better.
I mean, you sound normal. Not that you normally sound like shit, but like you don't.
Wow, Atlas.
Hey.
Say what you mean. God damn.
4 episodes in. Was it 3 episodes in? And she's fitting right in. It's like, we come here, we abuse Justin, and we fuck off home. That's basically what we do.
All right.
We abuse Justin.
Oh, my camera's gone.
Fine.
For fuck's sake.
He really did leave.
At this point, I'm not giving a fuck. At this point, we've had so many issues, I don't care anymore.
I know, right? At this point, I'm doing ballet through my room, and I just join it.
Between the mess that was my recording yesterday and what happened today, but
I'm back.
Have you guys done any tabletop role playing
Yes.
this weekend, this week in general?
Yes, you know I have.
I know, but again,
Share.
listeners.
No. We played the Fallout tabletop role playing game yesterday, which is I was dying for that. Literally, I was dying while we were recording it. Had the radiation poisoning. But no, it's an interesting system. I didn't overly enjoy it myself, but everyone else seemed to. So it was clearly a me issue. But yeah, I can see like a lot of influence from the video games into it, obviously. And I didn't really get on with the games, so I didn't really enjoy the setting, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a system that I should, in theory, do well in because you got to roll low. I didn't roll low because that's how dice work. That's because that's how dice work. Whatever I'm supposed to roll, it will roll the opposite because dice hate me. I rolled more nat 20s yesterday than I've ever rolled in my life.
Yeah, but I kind of count on that, to be honest.
Yeah.
I will keep note of that going forward.
Yeah. Never let me roll for anything important. Just ever.
So, David, yes, it is 2d20 Modifius. So how about you, Atlas? Have you done... you had some interesting gaming, didn't you?
Yeah. We were going to reset our Pathfinder game. This, like I said, we have a rotating table of GMs, and this weekend was Connell's turn to GM. And we were going to reset with like revamped characters, Pathfinder, and kind of like do a fast forward in our timeline. And there was just some things that were kind of like not vibing well, some mechanic stuff with Pathfinder, some character stuff, some player stuff. And finally, Connell touches base with all of our players at the table. Was like, hey, so new game? Literally within a couple of days. And he pounds out these characters and this storyline. And we just jumped in, not having a clue what was going on into this setting. Kind of like on Mutants Masterminds, where he starts with a big bang. Yeah. Like, we're all in a situation, and suddenly there's this, like, giant mecha coming, like, destroying the palace, and we have to jump into action real quick.
Nice.
It's Savage Worlds, so, you know, most of us know Savage Worlds. We didn't have to relearn anything. It's sci-fi, fantasy. It was a lot of fun. It was fun. And I'm playing a construct, which means I can't, like, be very emotive, which is a problem for me. Anyone who knows me, I'm just like... But now I have to stand there and just like, So, yeah, it was really good. Everybody knows.
Yeah, it's good to hear. I mean, yeah, Savage Worlds, I think, is one that you will probably have to bring to the crit list at some point. I've wanted to play Savage Worlds for some time.
Absolutely.
And I've never had a chance. I've never had anyone to kind of run it. Oh. So, yeah, no, I'm looking at you.
Putting it on the to-do list.
Yeah, it is the list. That is...
See, exactly.
We have one.
So, obviously, I ran the Modifius 2d20 Fallout game. We were going to do it for the crit list, but it was marred with technical issues. Kind of like today, weirdly.
Yeah. I think what we've learned is John needs a new computer.
Oh.
John has a new computer.
John needs another new computer.
John will always need new computers. John can't afford new computers after spending a substantial amount of money on this one last year.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
But yeah, so these things happen. I am gonna actually get the episode ready, but
Okay.
I'm gonna kind of share it privately for now because there's sound issues.
It were bad.
There's login issues.
Oh.
But I enjoyed the system. I did quite enjoy the system. I think the 2D20 is quite a fast. It's a fast moving system, and once we kind of got into the swing of things, it was very much back and forth. So it was good. In other news, I am no longer a Pathfinder venture agent.
I saw that on your Threads account. How does it feel?
Oh, it feels good. It genuinely feels good.
So you can say Saran wrap.
I can say Saran wrap and Couch is fucked off out the chat. But
I mean, yeah, but
yeah. So
Atlas is looking very confused by that reference.
Oh no! Wait, I do know.
There it is.
I'm with you. I got you. Okay. I'm like 2 steps behind today, guys.
Fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been thinking about doing it for some time. I've been thinking about giving it in. There are multiple reasons. One of them is my focus is on the show, and my focus is kind of on building this. So that I felt kind of not only did it take away focus, but also being a representative of a company.
Mm-hmm.
It would introduce a certain bias that I didn't really want to introduce.
Yeah.
I hadn't noticed before.
That'd be nice.
And also, I mean, I've got to be honest. I'm kind of falling out of love with Pathfinder, to be honest.
You've touched base on that a couple. You've hinted at it. Just been like,
don't get me wrong. I still think it is the best at what it does. Mm-hmm. I just don't like what it does very much.
Okay. That's fair.
I don't like the breakdown into tactical combat. I don't like anything like that. I'm just getting tired of it. And the more I think about it, the more I think that a GM in Bathfinder is, it's you're filling a role as opposed to playing a game and being part of a table. So, I've enjoyed the games we've played on this show, and I'm enjoying the games we're playing on this show. And I just kind of want to carry on doing that without having to think about, I've got to set up this next meet, I've got to do all this, and it's taken away a workload for me.
Yeah, that's good too, because that's gonna take a load off your shoulders. There's a lot of pressure with that too. The minute you have to approach a situation with that on your head of okay, well, I also have to keep in mind that I'm representative, like you said, of such and such. Now you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I can do whatever I want. I can focus on this. I can set up new games for the crit list. I got some things in the pipeline for June that I'm so fucking excited for.
Great.
So yeah, and also we got mutants and masterminds to plan. We were
just talking
about that.
How are we going to schedule that? Because that needs to happen.
So that has to happen. So basically, that's my tabletop role playing game news for this week.
That's fantastic. Good for you. Congrats. That's awesome. I'm happy for you.
So obviously, I've kind of just touched on it. Where with the crit list and with the help of some amazing people in this community, we have managed to play new systems, and we have managed to start learning new systems. So I want to talk about how you approach a new system as a player and as a GM. What sort of things do you do? What sort of, do you just power through the book and hope for the best? Do you learn by trial and error, which is my sort of thing? So yeah, how would you guys approach a new system?
I ask lots of questions. I don't tend to try and read the book, because if I read the rules, I will look for loopholes and ways around them, because that's just the way my brain works. So I will prefer to go through a character sheet and see things and be like, okay, does this interact with this? And just ask the questions, because that way I tend to get a more what's the accepted norm in the system, rather than, well, if you read it this way, you know, because there is a lot of that in like just reading the rules. So I tend to just ask questions and try and find out that way, to stop my brain going, hey, but what about if we did this?
Yeah.
So that's how I tend to do it.
So, Atlas.
I'm literally the exact opposite. I will not touch a book until I played a session or two. I mean, like, I will obviously look into it to get kind of a general concept. But for me, I have a hard time, like, I'll see a book and for my brain, it goes like, I have to read all of this before I make a character. And I'm like, no. So for me, I touch base with my GM, like whoever is GMing the game. I will build the character with them and ask them questions and kind of like get a feel for the game system, and what kind of system and game it is. And I know that that's dangerous, I guess is the word to use, because you could get a biased opinion on it. But for me, we've had this conversation, when you sit down at a table to play, like you're sitting down to play with that GM as well as, you know, play the system. So whoever I'm letting I don't say whoever I'm GMing me, but like whoever I'm sitting down at the table with, like I already trust them. So like
whoever you have granted the permission to be worthy.
Whoever has the honor of sitting at the head of my table.
Right. Whoever I deem worthy enough.
Goat on the altar of Atlas.
Or if you're out of goats, I take nerd gummies. But yeah. No, but I mean, like, for example, you were there when we did character creation for Covenant Crucible. I had the PDF and I kind of glanced through it and I read through it, but my brain went a million different directions that once Stefan sat me down and was like, no. Tell me about your character idea and we'll fill it in the rest. I'm like, oh, okay, like we're good. So it's more of a relational game with the GM and the other players for me when I jump in. And then 2 sessions in, I'll go get the book and then I go through all the hard rules and figure out how I can absolutely break the system with my character.
I normally wait 2 games before I try and break it. It's my rule.
I mean, because obviously I kind of focus it in two ways. One is as a player. As a player, I mean, I like to just go in not knowing anything. Give me a pre-gen. Just give me a pre-gen, and I will figure it out.
Love that. So many people are scared of pre-gens now. Like,
no, pre-gens are brilliant. Pre-gens, I'm a massive advocate for pre-gens because they take away a lot of the guesswork.
Yeah.
You know, and pre-gens are designed to be maybe not super powerful, but they are designed to be efficient.
Yeah.
So, you know, you never get a pre-gen and go, oh, this is
character
a bad
sucks.
Build.
Yeah.
You get a pre-gen and kind of go, okay, so this is like, okay, let's use like Pathfinder or D&D as an example. Okay, this is a rogue. You get the pre-gen. That pre-gen will tell you how rogues are meant to work.
Right.
You know, it'll have the most basic options to a certain degree, but it will give you the flavor of the rogue. The same with any other class. So if I'm learning a system, give me a fucking pre-gen.
That's smart.
Give me a pre-gen or handhold me during character creation. I would much rather do pre-gen. And then I will learn the system as I go.
Yeah, I think my issue with pre-gens is if they go into too much detail on the character backstory and stuff on a pre-gen.
Oh.
Because I find that can be really limiting as well.
For sure.
Like,
you know, I don't read that.
No, I know you don't, right? But some people do, and they'll try and then play a character that they don't feel comfortable in, because like the backstory isn't what they would have written for that character. So I think if you give somebody pre-gens where it's just this is a block of stats and skills, you fill in the rest. That's a much better way of doing it, personally.
I will make shit up on the fly.
I know you do.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I will read it and then just kind of go, I'm not going to fucking remember that.
Well,
so when asked a question, it'll be like, Yes, because
I mean, a prime example of that.
Trampolining.
Well, a prime example, right, is so the Fallout game that we played yesterday, my pre-gen character, those have all got like a lot of backstory written into them. And the character backstory for my pre-gen is the city that we were kind of, because obviously we're running the, like, essentially the starter adventure path for it as well. And obviously it's quite railroaded in where it takes you. And as much as we were trying not to go there, John was like, no, you're going there. Shut the fuck up. Right? But because of my character's backstory, there is no way he would set foot in that city. Because his entire backstory is he's out in the ways trying to earn money to pay off a gambling debt in that city. If he sets foot in that city, they're going to kill him. And that's what I mean. Like, it's a character backstory that's been pre-written that prevents him from actually continuing the story.
I just want to point out
poor writing.
Connell's put in the chat.
Oh no!
Is sometimes it doesn't work though. You can hand someone a badass super soldier and they wind up being a white electric noodle.
You say that like we didn't already know that's what was going to happen. Like, you might have had delusions of grandeur for my character. I certainly didn't.
I was watching Guardians 2 the other day, and it just every time they mentioned Taserface, I just couldn't stop laughing.
Look, in my defense, he's a cool character, but the dice let him down. And this was always going to happen because it's me rolling the dice.
That is like the beauty of the game, though, is like like last night's game, I had such a cool idea. And it just went south so fast. Like, I went to go punch the dude. I ended up getting grappled. Then he used me to throw me towards the character that I'm supposed to be protecting. Like, it was just, fuck dice. Like, why do we play this game?
but you see, but here's the flip side to that. You will have times where you build a badass character and they get to be badass.
True. See,
I don't get that.
But again, like, you're badass. You did a thing once.
Once upon a time.
No.
So, I mean, back to new systems. Another thing that I've found helps, because one thing I do hate doing is learning a new system to GM it. Because that is, you have to absorb the information. I would much rather play a system, get used to it, and then jump in the GM seat. Same. But that's not always possible. So what I will always do is I will find a GM screen or equivalent. And I will go through that GM screen bit by bit and just kind of go, right, what is this? And I'll look up the rule. And what is that? Because then you're narrowing down your information.
Yeah.
As so you're not getting overloaded.
Sorry, I was laughing in chat there.
Yeah, I know. I saw it. Poor John. He's like, I'm trying to run a show. We are like cats today. But no, I did the same thing.
This show went off the rails before we fucking started it.
So scuffed, and that's okay. Like, it's okay.
It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. One day we'll be as professional as others, but today is not that.
Not that day.
No.
Not today.
If we're ever as professional as others, then we've officially lost our brand. What are you talking about?
That's true.
Exactly. Our brand is incompetence.
Yes. At its finest.
Okay, but like
we are incompetent at our finest.
Yes. But no, I'm with you, John. Like, I actually, when I've played D&D, right? And it'd been 4 years since I had played, and then suddenly I'm GMing it, and I'm like, oh shit. And I actually printed out all the basic like combat rules. I just take them on my wall behind my monitor, so they didn't know what I was looking at. I'd just be like, right.
Well, I mean, so what I've done for what I've done for my DM screen, as John knows, because he helped me set it up, is using Obsidian. I've built a digital DM screen. So I've written a lot of the basic rules and tables and stuff like that into my Obsidian as pages and notes and stuff in there. And then I've built a digital DM screen that I can hot link to rules and stuff like that. So when I'm sitting there, if one of my players, because I play with a lot of newer players that don't necessarily know all of the rules and conditions. So if they've got something on their character sheet that's like, oh, I can give them the shaken Like, what does that do? I'm like, oh, fuck, I don't know. I barely ever use Shake and click the button. It takes me and I can read it. It also, like, I've also got things like the armor tables, the weapons tables, so I can link straight to them. So I don't have to, like, flick through notebooks to try and find a specific table or anything like that. So yeah, definitely having a good DM screen is such a good cheat for learning a system.
Oh my God. I don't know how people don't. Like last night, we hadn't played the system in a year or so, and I got shaken and I was going, okay, wait, in this game, what does that mean? And Colin's blah, 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 blah. I'm going, how do you remember? How? I have to have something in front of me, like no matter how long I've been playing the game. And I would much rather play a game than GM it. But if I don't have the opportunity to, then I read as much as I can. I try and find as many like shortcuts as I can. A DM screen, I watch other people play it and other people GM it. And then I get the guts to run it because I'm a scaredy cat.
I mean, I've got a GM screen and I find myself using it less and less.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it becomes so cumbersome. But it's like an A4 one, like a
oh yeah.
What is it? A portrait A4 one, and I'm short, so all you see is the top of my head behind this GM screen. Every now and again, I'll kind of.
You should just do what I did and make one.
It's true.
Yeah, you know I'm gonna do that.
So
yeah,
I built my own DM screen. It's over there. I can go get it. But I've built it out of foam, and it's got space for my laptop in the middle. It's got a dice tower down this side, and then on this side, it's got some shelves to put minis and stuff on. Because I've got a TV table to like put maps and stuff on. So having the minis and that there means I can just reach over and put them on. So yeah, that's how I play. Because
that's how he plays.
Because I'm a fancy bitch.
You are a fancy bitch.
I am a fancy
very
bitch.
Fancy bitch. With your long eyelashes.
Yes.
Right.
So Connell's posted a question in the chat. Do you ever read a new system and think that the system is bad or trying too hard to be different?
Yes. Next question.
Oh, hey, that's a good question. That's a controversial question.
No, I think it's a very good question because, not so much that they're trying too hard to be different. I have read far too many systems recently that are claiming to be different and aren't. And that pisses me off. Because if you're going to claim to be different, be fucking different. Don't say like, oh, I'm really different. What's different? This serial number? It's a 1, not a 2.
Right.
Like, come on, guys. Like,
you know what our system I found really different? It's that advanced 5.
I will slap you. I swear to God.
I'm going to run that for you guys. I'm going to run it for you guys, and you're going to love it.
I won't. The thing is, I'll already know all the rules because it's just 5e.
I get Justin's point because yes and no. Because for me, it's like, I do understand the frustration in someone being like, look at we're this amazing new thing. You're literally the other thing, like you said, with serial number. But for me, own it then. Be like, I love the system. I hate that mechanic, so I switched it. Like,
I would be absolutely fine if they did that. If they literally just said, this is 5e with a twist, fine. I would be more than happy to read it, play it. I'd probably love it. And I know I would probably love it. But it's the fact that every single one of these, and I know that 99% of this is because of all of the fucking license shit that went on, right? And I know that. It's like, this is our new system. It's completely different, but it's the same because they just want to play 5e without the license.
Right.
And that's literally what they're doing.
I do have a soft spot for Tales of the Valiant because of that.
Well,
because we're
going to get into that.
Yeah,
because I'm not happy.
It's essentially 5e, but not run by people who would sell their own grandmothers into slavery.
Right.
With their massive changes that we're going to get into shortly. Because I have one of the things I'm covering this week is them. Tales of the Valiant have released something and it's pissed me off, so I'm talking about it. Get over it.
I don't know. It's such a double edged sword for me because kudos for stepping out and doing something which half the population doesn't have the guts, time, or attention span to do.
What, copy and paste?
I mean, yes, but no.
Control A, Control C, Control V.
really early. But no, like the part that I think bugs me, and Pavel might have been hinting at this, is the trying too hard thing. Like there is different, right? And then there's it's not different, but you're saying it. Like it's literally what you said. We're trying so hard to be different, and it's like instead of saying like, oh, we have this new vanilla flavor we'd like for you to try. It's like we have this vanilla straight from the barns of such and such. Whatever, I don't know. Like it's vanilla. It's vanilla. Like it's okay for it to be vanilla.
Exactly. And the way I look at it for how it was done right. If you look at Pathfinder, like first edition, that was just 3.5 D&D. That people wanted to keep playing 3.5, but D&D had moved on to 4th, right? And people wanted to play 3.5. So they released 3.5 as Pathfinder, or like somebody else did. Obviously, it wasn't, but yeah. But they never tried to claim it was something different. They literally just said, we are releasing this because everyone still wants it. Mm-hmm. And it was embraced because it wasn't this new thing. It was like, no, they were open and honest about what it was. This is 3.5 for people who still want to play 3.5. And then they developed it from that point on and made it its own thing.
I think Tales of the Valiant would have had a better response had that have been the case.
Absolutely,
had they have come out and kind of gone, this is changing. These people are dicks.
So here's our version of their thing.
We want to do.
Yeah,
exactly.
absolutely.
They did the whole song and dance of Black Flag role playing.
It's new. It's gonna
our system. And it was just like, really?
Do you think people feel like they have to market it that way? Because if they didn't, but that's the catch. Like, we want them to market it honestly, but if they did, I feel like so many people would be shitting on them anyways. Be like, they're just copy and pasting. Yeah, they are, but at least they're owning up to it. Like that's
exactly.
That's the catch. But I don't think everyone would react the same way we are. Like, I think a lot of people would be like, oh, it's 5e, but it's this. People, I think, would genuinely be like, oh, okay, posers. Like,
I mean, I think they would have had a better success had they have just kind of gone, this is our 5e.
Yeah.
We're not going to call it 5e, but this is our thing. This is our 5e. Because they did it in a moment where there was a lot of
negativity to 5e.
Satisfied customers with Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah.
So if you could offer people something and just kind of go, like I said, I say it partially jokingly, but there is a serious point to it. This is 5e, not run by pricks.
Yeah.
Right.
You want to have a moral high ground. You want to have a sense of doing the right thing for the community. This is what we can offer you. It's what you know. It's what you enjoy. It's what you love. But no more will you have to answer to these absolute fucks.
Yeah.
And had they have marketed it that way,
they would have done a lot better.
The response would have been much better because the whole song and dance of this is our system. And when it came out, the sort of fury against Wizards had died down a bit, like it was always bound to do. All these people going, oh, I'm walking away. And no, you're fucking not. It's like you're leaving Facebook. Fuck off. They would have done exactly the same. By the time it came out, they just kind of went, well, if I want to carry on playing 5e,
I'll just keep playing 5e.
I'm going to carry on playing 5e.
Right.
So they should have struck while the iron was hot, as it were.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, he added on to his question. I just saw this, but thinking that designers trying unique, different comes across as gimmicky. I struggle with this because I have friends who've written systems and they call the GM something different. And I love the concept. Like once I understand it, like, oh, that's really cool. But like, I remember being a baby gamer and I would read some other systems and they'd be using these terms I've never fucking heard of before. I keep freaking out. I'm like, oh no, oh no, wait, we're fine.
You're allowed to swear. Like, we do it often.
Yeah, I'm allowed to swear. But like that to me is so. Sometimes it's awesome, sometimes it's not. Like if there's a reason for it, if there's a reason, I'm all for it. Like absolutely. Like Craig, like the chorus, love that. But there's love that because he had a why. He had a why, and I'm like, I'm for it, 100%. But when people change the name because like, oh, well, it sounds cooler, and we don't want to be different. Stop. Stop.
Well, that's the thing. Like I often find as well, right? Is even if they do change the name for a valid reason or whatever, 9 times out of 10, people still call it a DM or a GM based on whatever system they're used to. So it's like so many times people come up with these like really different ways of saying something that is a pretty standard thing. And then like by the time people figure out what it is, they're like, oh, that's just initiative with a different name.
Right. Or it's the Level Master 500. No, that's what I used at the gym.
Yeah.
Like,
I completely forgot what I was going to fucking say then.
I'm sorry.
That's just the show in a nutshell.
It's just the show. Right. A peeve of mine is when people use DM for other things that isn't D&D.
Yeah.
That is a massive pet peeve of mine because it is a registered trademark from Wizards of the Coast. So when someone goes, oh, yes, I'm DMing Pathfinder, it's like, no, you're fucking not.
But you're not allowed to get upset about that anymore.
You can still get upset. I could just don't have to be as diplomatic about it.
True.
It's kind of like me without a filter now, so it's going to be great.
I mean, should you ever have a filter? And have you ever had a filter?
Yes, I've got a filter. I have. Imagine me without one.
I've seen him without one.
There'd be manifestos. Just in seeing me in my drinking phase.
Yeah,
it was glorious. But just to go off what Connor was saying about Fantasy Age, I do love the age systems in general. I've played a few of them. I own a few of them, and they are awesome. The 3d6 system that it uses and the way it uses them with the stunt die and stuff is phenomenal, and I love it, and it's amazing. And absolutely, we're going to do something with it for the crit list.
Okay, I for a minute I was trying to remember which one the Fantasy Age was, but I actually looked at that, and that does. I'm very intrigued by that one. I have not played it. Yes, he needs to run it. Then you should run it, Justin.
There is a version of the age system which is cyberpunky as well, and I love it, and I have the book for it.
Now, is this an episode of the crit list?
Yeah, it's an episode of the crit list. It has a built-in like the book has a path, like a campaign built into it as well, so we can just run that.
Right. So I've filled. Currently, I've got 2 weekends of June filled. We're going to add one for Mutants and Masterminds. We're going to add one for Critting the Nerdverse. That gives me a few days left to do Fantasy Age.
Keep in mind, though, I am also going to be disappearing for work for a while from this point on, so I'm not going to be here for a while.
Oh my god.
Okay, we'll sort something.
Yeah, we will. And then
information,
because I have to go make money.
I mean, who needs money? Come on, run around in the shack.
Yes,
Connell, do I get to play? I was just about to say, of course he gets to play, but I was staring at his as my idea too, Nikki, and I realized because he's starting his own system. He's working on one. Which,
he's not Connell. He's not told me anything about it yet, and I want to know.
It's going to be interesting. I think people are going to feel strongly one way or another. They're either going to love it or hate it. Like, there will be no middle ground. It's very gamey. I'm super excited, but we're going to have to like debut it on here because.
Oh yeah, I'm up for that.
Yeah, 100%. I'm in.
I have built a mini game.
Oh, is it Blue Wave?
I have.
Is it Blue Wave?
It's not. It's fishes. So you play as fish on a reef.
Okay.
It's awesome.
Like I hate fish.
Well, you're going to be one. Then you could play as the reef because one player plays as the reef and the reef is trying to kill the fish. So you roll you roll on the predator table, and then that's the predator for the game, and the predator's trying to eat the fish.
I'm here for it. I will play the reef. I'll be the badass.
He's actually gone over it with me, and it's like, this is interesting.
So all of the.
Do you remember that Print and Play Games said to us, "Do you want to design something?"
Yes.
Why don't you get in touch with them?
I am very tempted, but I need to finish playtesting it first because there are still some gaps in it that I need to like plug up. But essentially, all the abilities and stuff that the fish and the predators have are based on the actual fish that you're rolling on the table. So like how they avoid predators or how they catch prey is actually what their abilities are and stuff like that. I put a lot of research into it. My daughter loves it. She absolutely loves it. And all you need is D6. You need a few D6 and that's it.
That's awesome.
All right. So I just want to take a moment here and just say a big thank you to our partners this evening. I want everybody to check out Deals of Opportunity. It's an automatic, simple, and free way to save on the tabletop role-playing games that you want. You just add your drive-through RPG and Dungeon Masters Guild wish list and get notified anytime a title on your list goes on sale. You just need to set it up and save. You know, if there's something you want to buy, add it to that list. The moment it goes on sale, bang, you get an email and save some money.
Yeah.
Christ knows I need to start doing more of that.
Money,
Right?
money, money, money.
Especially when they go through their sale blitzes where it's like there's all these sales all at once. It's like, oh, that way I don't have to rely on, 3 days later, one of my friends being like, did you check out the sales? Like, dude, how long do I have? I like a day left. Like, no, get it while it's hot.
Yeah, it is fantastic. The other partner we've got is 13th Moon Games. It's a family-run indie game company out of Wyoming, USA that created the tabletop role-playing game Covenant Crucible. It's a game of modern-day witchcraft. If you can imagine the John Wick movies and the last Witch Hunter movie got together and had a really pretty baby, Covenant Crucible would be it. If you want to learn more, find them on their Patreon, a Covenant Crucible. It is fantastic.
It's so
played
good.
It. Atlas is waiting to play it.
I'm waiting to play it.
It is so unbelievably
as soon as
good.
as soon as he recovers, we're gonna hit it hard. But I'm excited.
It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, it is a fun system.
I mean, I think a crossover should happen at some point. Just saying.
What,
Just
as
saying.
in your characters and our characters?
Mm-hmm.
I think that can be arranged.
That might be a giant undertaking.
I don't think that would go well for your characters.
I don't think go well for y'all's characters. I got a bear. That is my... Anyway, we're not going to get into it.
Do you have a Nash? You don't have a Nash.
I don't. That's right. I don't.
Do you have a Quinn who's going to fail every roll under the sun? You don't. We do.
All right, so I guess it is around about that time that you folks and myself, we roll for initiative to see who's talking about their shit
We
first.
do.
Yes.
I'm going to choose...
I'm going to be using my Comic-Con dice.
I'm going to be using... You know what? No, I have my Cthulhu dice. Right here. My Cthulhu dice.
Going with this one.
That's pretty.
All right, there's
Oh, that is pretty.
You can't tell, but there's actually like... Hang on. Let me see if I can get it close enough. There's like freaking stars and trains on them and everything, but it's my Cthulhu dice. They're beautiful.
That is cool. I'm going with this one.
Yeah, I love that. Nice.
Ooh,
Right.
okay.
It's funky.
All right, so let's go ahead and roll for initiative.
All right. 10.
I'm not going first then.
Oh, me neither.
Oh.
I got a 7.
Justin. Oh. Bad? We were all close.
What do you mean that's not bad? I rolled a 6.
It's not a 4. It's not a nat 1.
Might as well have been. Oh no, that's the thing. I don't roll nat ones. I just fail. And so I don't even get like the coolness of, oh yeah, but that critical fail I had was awesome. No, I just fail.
We almost had a character death last night. Someone did a double negative or a double nat 1. Like it was bad. All right, I'm going first.
Those off out. Yes.
Yeah.
And I really want to touch base first of all, while I have time, to talk about the Humble Books bundle. We've talked about Humble before, like the really cool bundles you can get. This one is, of course, we've been talking about it. It's all the hype right now because I just binged the entire series in one day. Fallout. Okay. For at least $18, it's one of those pay $1 or more situation, but you can get up to 25 items. 25, and we're talking like everything from 3D print files for miniatures, terrain, the actual campaign books. You've got card decks, you've got expansions. Like this thing is like, if you want to get into Fallout because you've been watching the show too much, aka me, this is awesome. But what makes it even better is that yes, it's the Humble Bundle, whatever. Of course, I probably should not say whatever at the end of it, but it is. I like the fact that the charity save team.
Bullshit.
humble, whatever bullshit. No, because like it's so good. It's so good. I get so excited. And I'm gonna mess up my English because English is hard. But the charity is trees, water, and people, helping people and the planet. That's what the money goes towards. Which I just love the fact. I don't know if that's purposely themed, but if it is, bravo. Like Fallout, post-apocalyptic, the world nuclear bomb. Hey, our charity, if you buy this game, Humble Bundle set is going to be, trees, waters, and people. I think that's perfect. It's wonderful. Just that branding and marketing itself would make me like throw all my money at them. So good cause, good product. You get a whole bunch of goodies. It's great.
Yeah. I mean, it's no secret, I am a slut for Humble Bundle.
No.
In fact,
didn't know that.
The fact that I was playing Fallout yesterday was a previous Humble Bundle.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's good.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I think because you can get the STL files, which I don't need.
Yes. I haven't used them yet.
Yeah, so
yes.
Yeah, Humble Bundle, you get an amazing amount of stuff.
Yeah, it's everything from
as well. So can't.
Yeah, it's not just like, oh, here's a game or two. It's the games, it's the files for the 3D printing. It's cards. Like it's just good. It's all good.
And I'm a big fan of playing cards in general.
I want to send this vertibird to somebody to print it for me, so I can like have it hanging in my. Yeah, love that.
If it wasn't so far away, I would offer to, but it's very far away, so.
It's okay. I'll backpack.
Fly out here just to pick up a 3D print.
Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about, I'm no longer a venture agent, but I'm still going to talk about Pathfinder from time to time. They have started a brand new playtest. 2 new classes that are coming out in the sourcebook Battle Cry. So as you can imagine, these are going to be martial classes, but martial classes with a bit of a twist. I think they're kind of trying to recreate a couple of like previous archetypes from Pathfinder First Edition. First of all is the Commander. So the Commander, I think, is going to be similar to the First Edition Cavalier, where you are a martial character, you hit things, you take hits, but at the same time, you give orders, and it's basically a buff class. It's a buff class wrapped up in a martial. So some of the abilities are pretty cool. Like, for example, if you're in a combat and you're getting absolutely spanked, the commander can spend 2 of his actions and it gives everybody 3 movements for free. So it's like, right, retreat. So everybody that is under the influence of this commander can then just get the fuck out of there. And there are offensive abilities, there are defensive abilities. It is quite interesting. I don't think it's the sort of thing that I would play personally, but it gives a lot more flavor to the martial concept.
No, definitely.
So you get these things called tactics, which as you level up, you can add more. But, coordinating maneuvers, your team works to slip enemies into disadvantageous position. You signal one squad mate currently affected by your commander's banner. That ally can immediately step as a free action. If they end this movement next to an opponent, they can attempt to reposition an enemy as a reaction. Stuff like that. It's just giving buffs to the combat. Obviously, it is playtest. Not all of this will go through because playtest they purposely put massively fucking powerful things in there just to see how they land. But yeah, it is really interesting. So that's one, and the other. As soon as I scroll down in the PDF.
Oh, my bad. I forgot there was 2 things in the playtest. All right, leave me alone.
2
classes. It's the Guardian.
2 classes. It is the Guardian. And I think this is a Justin thing.
It is a me thing. That's why I read it.
So the Guardian is essentially that. You are the defender. But it isn't only stepping in the way to take hits. You can also taunt enemies. Which is a bit of me.
I'm all over that.
Yeah. It's basically playing a tank in any MMO.
Yeah. I'm constantly asking Connell, like, hey, how do I make a tank? I want to make a tank in this game. Like,
Guardian.
So you get intercept strike, so you keep your charges safe from harm, even if it means you get hurt yourself. And as a reaction, you can take damage instead of your ally. You know, you gain resistance to all damage against the trigger, and damage equal to 2 plus your level. So it is similar to the guard ability in Fabulous.
Well, and also it's basically that is the character that I'm currently playing, right? Because I've got my intercept and protect and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, my Fabulous character literally has that ability where I can basically choose to jump in front of somebody and take the hit instead. And because of the way I've built the character, if that attack roll happened to be an even number, I get to counterattack, which is really cool.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. And we found a really interesting mechanic with that the other time, or the last time we all were together in a group, where if 2 characters have counterattack, it's not like a once per round or a once per thing. It's just if the attack is a melee attack and it's an even number, you can counterattack, which means if 2 people have counterattack and they go on a chain of even numbers, it's attack, 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 attack.
That's almost as broken as our interpose. It means masterminds. We will like interpose, but you can interpose for an interpose. So like we would get 5 people, 7 people lined up. I interpose for that person. No, I interpose for that interpose. Well, I interpose for that interpose. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I enjoyed that ability.
Yeah.
Well,
I like that Guardian. Okay,
that's
got my eyes on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a really interesting thing. And I think it's one of those things that a lot of players that come to like TTRPGs from like MMORPGs, it's something that they would like to play and like to build, because there are a lot of players who, well, I mean, there's 2 of us in this like call right now who play tanks in an MMO who would love to be able to have that same experience of protecting the group in TTRPGs. And it's really, really hard to build that character in most systems. So the fact that like there is now literally a class for it in Pathfinder is really, really cool.
I love that, like, because it is so many classes is very much so. Let's see how showy and cool and damage and what we can do. And sometimes I'm like, can I just throw something and get your attention and like someone else do the cool stuff? I'll just like
I'm just gonna soak up damage.
All right, Justin, have you got anything for us?
I do. I brought it up earlier, and I'm going to go on a rant now because I'm pissed off. So, Tales of the Valiant.
Where I get the shorts from.
Yes, Tales of the Valiant. They put out an example of the monk character, like the monk class. I was going to say character sheet, the class sheet for monk. Now, I read through it. There is one change to this whole class between a 5e monk and this monk. Do you want to know what that change is? It's not called key points anymore. They're called techniques. That's it. That's all they did. That's the only change. The costs are the same. The way they work are the same. Everything is the same. It's just called technique points instead of key points, which makes no fucking sense.
I like technique points.
Because some people are martial artists.
Yeah, but the whole point of key and key points is it's the amount of energy in your body to do that technique, right? If it's just a technique you know, no. Because if it's just a technique you know, there isn't a limit on how many times I can throw a punch in a day. That's a technique. A punch is a technique. Throwing a special kind of punch that uses the key in my body, the energy within me, that's different.
It's different then. It's a different class.
No, it's the same fucking class because the techniques are the same. They haven't even changed the fucking techniques. The techniques in here are the same things you get to use your key points on in 5e.
But does the 5e monk use key?
Yes.
Whereas the Tales of the Valiant one doesn't.
It uses techniques.
So it's different.
No, it's not. It's the fucking same. I will die on this hill. It's the fucking same. Literally.
Right, so thank you. Thank you, Justin, for that very different class.
I will slap you, I swear to God. Even the starting equipment's the same.
Yeah, but they don't use key, so it's different.
They use techniques.
Even the fucking martial arts die that you get to increase with are the fucking same. The key point is the same. The unarmored movement is the same. The class abilities are the same.
But do they use key?
I'm gonna slap you both, I swear to God. It's the same. So basically, yeah, they've made a big deal about putting out the monk, and it's just the 5e monk, and it took them this long to Control F the word key and change it for technique.
F?
Control F means find.
Oh.
It's the shortcut for find on a
I thought
document.
you were talking about copying and pasting. I was like, that is
Essentially.
So before Justin pops an embolism,
right.
But Alice, have you got anything else for us?
I do, and it's a lot more chill and relaxed.
I'll be the judge of that.
Okay, have you guys heard of Babies and Broadswords?
No, but I want to hear more about it because I saw you added that, and I was like,
I did. I was like, it's not on the list, but I'm adding it. So I found I've heard of Babies and Broadswords before. This is an I don't know if expansion is the right word, but this is Bathfinder. It is exactly. Like I figured as bad as you guys would appreciate this. Their tagline, let's see if I can find it real quick. Hang on. Babies and Broadswords, a little game for big people or a big game for little people.
Love it.
I love that. Just that in itself sold me. But this is the Bathfinder is a quote unquote expansion. It's all pirate themed. They have like new character classes on top of what they've already put out, such as a shape-shifting dolphin kid or the nautically naughty artificer. Like, if you like dad jokes, okay, I would highly suggest this. It looks fun. They said that it's inspired by Rugrats, Muppet Babies, Terry Pratchett, which I'm not a silly gamer. I don't like campaigns that are silly, but every now and then a one shot, I'm like, yes, we just need to relax and have fun. But here's the thing. I'm not just talking about the expansion itself. On Kickstarter, it's already been funded. Like it funded so fast. And not only did it overfunded, I think over double. They're going for 700. I think they have like 1,500 right now. There's only 10 days left. So if you want to get in on it, get in on it. I actually saw on Threads some of our dear friends were playing a one shot of it. I'm going to go check it out because it looks hilarious. I haven't had a chance to yet, but I will. But yeah, no, it looks fun. It looks like a nice little reprieve from, I have to be, like our
super serious.
Badass. Yeah. Like it looks fun. And honestly, the idea of playing some little kid running around like a toddler, like with a broadsword going on adventures in their bathtub, let's do it. Let's go. Like I challenge anybody. I feel like if you can't take yourself lightly, you can't take yourself seriously. So let's go. Like,
no, I love everything about this. I'm just reading stuff now. I mean, just the first bit where it says "Sleepy babies tell no tales."
Right? And I love anything pirate themed, so I'm like sold.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. That is fantastic.
And now the only thing I don't know is I don't know if you have to have like the original Babies and Broadswords to play this, or if you can just pick it up and play it on its own. That is the only thing I couldn't really decipher off of the Kickstarter. But check it out anyways.
All right. Okay, so the next thing I want to bring to the table is so Justin and I have talked a lot about how much we want to play Coyote and Crow. This is now a new system, and it's currently free on DriveThruRPG. So I may be adding it to my cart, and it is done by the same company. In fact, I think it is the same author, Connor Alexander, and it is called Wolves. All right. So the game, it's a game for 3 to 6 players, and it's semi-cooperative. It is about community survival. All right, so you have to manage resources. You need to work together to make it through a tough winter. Now, if any community fails to make it, everybody loses. So if somebody dies, you've lost the game.
Oh, it's a group project.
It is a group project.
I hate group projects.
So if you say, If you survive, the player who earned the most status awards by efficiently sharing resources is elected chief of all the communities and receives a second win. So it is a group game where you've got a group goal.
It's co-op competitive.
At the same time, at the same time, there is an element of I'm going to undermine the fuck out of you.
Oh, this could make me go a little savage because, like, that's why I'm not allowed to play Catan with people I actually like.
I think you would like Dead of Winter then, but because that's a fun game. That's a fun game. We thought about that later.
If it's like, it's teamwork, but you can like sabotage, but still come out on top, but still survive. I'm all about the gameplay there.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. I like that kind of thing.
Yeah,
and yeah, I mean the reason I bring up Dead of Winter is it's one of those games that has the possibility of like a betrayer in the group.
Yeah,
which is fun.
Now, John, what kind of game is this?
I'm actually just logging into my drive-through RPG because I'm going to get it. Because the information on drive-through is quite limited.
It really is, yeah.
So yeah, I really can't find too much information. I really don't want to go down a rabbit hole of trying to find it while we're on stream.
Right.
It does look very interesting, and I am now currently in the process of adding it to my library.
Purchasing.
So if I do find it to be interesting, I will definitely elaborate.
So
pictures.
I'm just on the Coyote & Crow website. So it is a board game. So the PDF that you're downloading, John, is the rule book for the board game.
Fair enough.
So the board game itself costs $55 and will be out later this month, 15th of May. It does look really good. It's a really, really nice board game. Now, I know board games aren't really your thing, John, but in all honesty, I think this one would be.
This looks pretty.
It does.
So for people who aren't looking at what we're looking at, it looks like you have
it's on the screen.
It's on the screen? Never mind. Y'all got this.
Because I'm a professional.
He's a professional.
When you're here.
There
point.
it is.
It's a valid point. But yeah, no, it is very, very pretty.
It does look quite interesting. Because it was advertised to me as a role-playing game, which I suppose to a certain element it is. But yeah, I don't think you could probably plan a campaign out of this.
I mean, you say that. Now my brain is going, okay, challenge accepted. I'll take the rule books and I'll turn it into one. But it's different, but it's the same.
That was a rabbit. That was a journey.
I had to.
It's different, but it's the same.
This whole episode, okay?
We have a title. It's different, but it's the same.
Yes. One of these things is different. Oh my gosh.
That is the title. But yes, I've now got it, and I will be taking a look later on.
Cool. Yeah. So, all
right, Justin.
Yes. Oh, the thing. Gotcha. So I do have one more to talk about. I know, right? So I chose this because it involves a line from a really, really popular film franchise that has sparked many a debate, which is to do with parsecs being a measure of distance, not time. But this is a game called 13 Parsecs. Which is not Star Wars related, just to throw that out there. But I thought it's very apt because obviously we just had, May the 4th, etc. Right?
Right.
But this is really, really cool. So it's 13 Parsecs, Adventures Beyond the Solar Frontier. It's what I really like about it is it's not like strictly a space exploration game. So it could be anything to do from like FBI agents investigating aliens, X-Files style, or it could be like Star Trek-y space exploration, or even like Stargate space exploration, or like some kind of cyberpunk story. It's more just like a framework of rules that you can fit into some kind of sci-fi setting. which is really, really cool. So it's got like a bunch of character archetypes. So you've got like the Augmented, the Blaster, Hunter Soldier, Diplomat, Mystic Warrior, Psychic, and Slicer. Pretty standard archetypes for a sci-fi sort of system. You get playable alien species, which is always a winner. Yeah, it just looks really, really awesome. And it's just really, really fun to be that flexible, because the whole sci-fi genre, I find that a lot of the systems are either too strict or they just don't work.
Yeah, I mean, I like the name of this. I like the name of like the actual mechanic system behind it. Powered by ogres.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea what it is, but I'm really interested in figuring out.
Well, it's got a really cool system, which is the rule of two, which is a mechanic that allows the game, like the GM, to basically instantly resolve something that should just resolve unless it's like a really odd chance. So you choose a D4 based on how likely it is that it would just randomly happen or not happen, right? So if it, and then you roll, and if you roll a 1 or a 2, then the bad thing happens. And if you don't, then then they succeed. So if it's something that's like really unlikely that they're going to fail at it, you just roll a D20. Unless you roll a nat 1 or a nat 2, they succeed. So you don't have to like, because like that's one of those things, right? That in a lot of systems, when you're rolling for stuff, that your character should just be able to do, right? Like a character who's super strong picking up the heavy thing, like that should be his bread and fucking butter. The odds of him not picking up the heavy thing, very slim, right? So you just roll. So the DM just rolls a D20. Yeah, cool. Yeah, you pick it up. And
yeah,
on
like
the
monk
off chance,
technique points.
Oh, I kind of want to see what that's like and play. Like,
yeah, I think it's really cool.
I'm gonna just. It sounds cool. I love sci-fi. I am sci-fi. So
I just saw an opportunity to poke Justin.
No, I know. It's fine.
Yes, I could not resist.
At least I don't have a chair yet.
But yeah, I mean that is pretty much all we've got in terms of any sort of individual news. And I think with the sort of complications, we won't have time for a last call today, but we will do it. We'll do it next week. We'll do it next week. Hopefully, we'll be less marred by problems next week.
Was there a full moon recently? Is that what happened? Like,
well, I mean, we had the solar eclipse recently.
Yesterday and today. Yesterday and today has just been god awful. But anyway, so I want to thank everyone. I want to thank our partners for their unwavering support week in, week out. Check them out. Deals Opportunity and 13th Moon Games. I want to thank the two of you for joining me this evening. So, Atlas, would you like to tell people whereabouts they can find you?
Yes, you can find me on Threads and Instagram at atlas.ursa. I'm also on TikTok. If you want to like watch me make an absolute fool of myself, come find me there. And I'm super interactive, so come say hi. Don't be shy. It's great.
All right, Justin, how about you?
No.
Okay, right. As for me, you can find me at Natural Juan, Mastodon, dice.camp. You can also find me behind all of our social media profiles at Too Legit to Crit. I'm also mostly active on Threads at natural.juan. Now, Justin, would you like to tell people where they can find you?
Sure, I'll take a turn now. So I'm on most places at Just an Accurate TV. I also stream occasionally on Twitch when I'm free and have a spare moment at the same channel name, and also in the Discord and on the Facebook group.
All right. A special thank you to everyone in the chat. Thanks for kind of joining us. And apologies again for any sort of technical issues. But thank you ever so much for sticking with us.
New moon tomorrow. That's our problem.
New moon tomorrow. That's it.
He solved it. He solved it.
Figured it out.
Fucking Twilight.
That's all on Netflix. No, Disney Plus now. All the Twilight films are on Disney Plus now.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Nope. Not doing it. But if you like what we do and you kind of want to see more, give us a like.
Also, go seek professional help.
Go seek professional help. Talk to your friends about us. We've got loads of merch as well. If you want to just check out our merch store and help us, anything you do like that does help support the show. And most importantly of all, I want to thank everyone for taking time out of their very busy day to listen to three idiots waffle on about tabletop role-playing games. Thank you very much. Good night.
Bye.